Okay, so once you decide what the walkaway price is, then you can decide on the opening offer. Now, how do we determine the walkaway price? Basically, in this case, the cost of capital is 10%. Instead of we have used 10% to discount, to evaluate the cash flows. But instead of that, you can choose a higher figure, which you can say is the minimum rate of return that you expect from this deal. Okay, minimum rate of return you expect, and use that rate to evaluate the cash flows. Okay, so that rate should be greater than your cost of capital, because that is how you establish the walkaway price. It basically, what that rate should be depends on the the acquiring company's goals, management's goals. So in this case, what we are assuming is a threshold return of about 12% would be considered reasonable. That means instead of using 10% to evaluate the cash flows, now we use 12% to determine the walkaway price. Alright, we go through the same process using 12% as the discount rate, and then these cash flows are given on table 4. Okay. And the same process, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through all of it. So essentially, the present value of cash flows for the first 5 years evaluated at 12% comes to 168.12. Present value of terminal value is 297.9. The same non-operational asset, which is your cash and marketable securities of 30, all the other things remain the same. So what this boils down to is that the upper limit of the value of ST's equity comes to 345.02. When you divide that by the number of shares outstanding, you get a price of 59.08. Now, what does that 59.08 represent? That 59.08 represents the walkaway price. So when you tell your negotiating team, you cannot pay more than 59.08. Walk away from the deal, but avoid it. But even though between 59 and 76 there's still some cushion, you might increase it depending, supposing you get into a multiple bidding situation, you might increase it, but for now, you tell them, look, this is the walkaway price, 59.08. Now, is this a reasonable offer? Okay. If you pay 59.08, it results, the current market price is 37. So the premium comes to almost 60% premium, which is a very good premium. So you're not going to pay 59.08 as the opening bid. See, you have set the walkaway price, you have found out the maximum price, but now you have to establish the opening bid. Opening bid should be somewhere between 37 and 59.08. So opening offer should depend on few factors. In launching a counter bid, then you may not want to have a very low opening offer, because then you're going to be outbid very easily. Okay, so because if I am a shareholder in the target company, or if I am the CEO of the target company, I'm going to look at other transactions to get an idea whether this company's transaction is reasonable or not. Okay, so now one more thing. The European distribution network brings, according to our calculations earlier, $88 million to the deal. From the $447 million that we worked out earlier, the total value, if you subtract that $88 million, you get $359 million. So you might be wondering, what am I getting at here? Now, there are two value drivers. We took both the value drivers into consideration. Now we are saying, even if the second value driver is 0, is this deal still worth pursuing or not? That is why we are taking out the value addition created by the European distribution network of ST. So now that translates into a value of 61.47 per share. So even if you pay the upper limit, the walkaway price of 59.08, and even if the European distribution network's value is 0, still this is a worthwhile proposition. Okay, you're unlikely to lose money. So bottom line is, you should go ahead with the deal. So what we have seen here is, the first step is to identify the value driver, evaluate both the value drivers separately, come up with a maximum value that you should pay, but then after that you establish the walkaway price using your certain threshold rate of return, in this case which happens to be 12%. Having done that, you decide between that walkaway price and your current market price where you should position your opening offer. For that, we decided to assume that the second value driver's contribution is 0. Even then, it's still viable, because even if the European distribution network adds no value to the deal, by paying 59, it's a worthwhile transaction. So on this note, I'd like to conclude. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So do you have any questions? I just wanted, I thought, rather than just talk about it, if I walk you through an example, it will be much, you can actually see how the numbers are crunched. So any questions? So once again, it's really a privilege and an honor to have this discussion with you, and I'm grateful to Dr. Mishra for giving me this opportunity. And you're welcome to take the slides if you'd like, and if you need my contact information, Dr. Mishra can provide it to you. So thank you very much. It's been a very enjoyable session with you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Dr. Mishra, Dr. Rao, we had a very interactive session on merger and acquisitions, and being a student of engineering and financial management, we are really got enlightened by his experience, the way he pitched his talk to our level, the way he went ahead to the talk, ended with the practical examples, the way he entertained our queries and all the curiosities about the subject. We definitely carry these memories along with us, and we are thankful to Dr. Mishra for having provided us the opportunity of interacting with such a scholar on the subject. Thank you very much, sir. And we, on behalf of all participants and the Institute, I once again extend our thanks, and we would like to be interacting with you in future on the subject. Thank you.
To thank Director Professor Mishra for arranging this lecture. Collaboration with ICE, and now
Professor Rao has been very kind and accepted to be our visiting officer.
Yes, of course. Actually, whenever Dr. Mishra calls, there's no way I'm going to say no to it. I'll somehow find a time for it. I have the greatest regard and respect for him, and so I really enjoy coming here.
look forward for your visits, many more visits, and many more active collaborations with the Institute. And I'm sure with your guidance, we can rise to new heights under the direction of Professor Mishra. Thank you, and all the participants for the very nice and patient and active and participative program this morning. And now we break for lunch. Okay. Thank you. Enjoy the lunch.